Joining us now is LeVar Arrington. Tom Brady making some news this morning. He set the internet on fire yesterday. Speaking of Brady, we'll get to that in a second. Make sure you check out the Great Brady Heist tomorrow night on Fox, sponsored by Keurig. Tackle the day after the big game with a strong brew. All right, so here we are, minding our own business, talking about the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, a cryptic Instagram post pops up of Tom Brady. Should we show that? Either walking in or walking out of the stadium. There it is right there.
Out. We can tell from his foot placement.
I'm going to say he's either walking in or walking out.
He's walking out. Look at that foot on the right-hand side. That's obviously
all right, Agatha Christie over here has predicted that he's walking out.
It's like the old Roger McDowell video, right? Back and to the left.
It's probably moonwalking.
Phantom Loogie.
Brady's football future has been a source of much speculation since he's an impending free agent. He says that he wants to play next season. The question is where? Nick, what do you think this all means?
I think there are a few things we know. We can speculate. I think that it does appear because of his foot that he's walking out of the stadium, but we don't know what that's supposed to signify, right? We don't know if this is just a really elaborate Super Bowl commercial, right? A lead up to that. We don't know why he put this out there, but we do know where he is right now. He's in Miami. Taking place in Super Bowl week. Gil Brandt tweeted a picture of Tom Brady and his wife at the NFL 100 party yesterday. We also know that what Tom Brady wants at the end of this, to be a New England Patriot for his entire career, but to be treated with at least a modicum of respect that they refused to treat him with this offseason, past offseason, when they wouldn't give him a contract extension fresh off his 6th Super Bowl. And the other thing we know, and this might make some Brady fans a little uncomfortable, is Tom Brady did something somewhat out of character, posting this tweet, this picture, on this day. This is not about him. Listen, man, you've had more Super Bowls about you than any player in the history of the sport. The two quarterbacks we should be talking about are the one who is the next great quarterback in this league, Patrick Mahomes, and your former understudy. And yet he knowingly hijacks, if you will, the final real full media day before the Super Bowl. For what end? I'm not sure to what end, but what it means, I don't know. But those things we do know, and I don't think they're all that arguable.
I'll give you a great interpretation, all right? I will push back a little bit on you on him making it about him. In his situation, he has to present himself in the best way, okay? So here's the interpretation. The picture is meant for you to try to figure out which direction he's walking in, all right? Are you guys going to keep me in New England? I could be walking in. Am I leaving because you don't want me back? I'm walking out. So regardless of what direction we try to figure out he's walking in, it is so well positioned. You can create your own.
It's a Rorschach test, which I said earlier. You know, it's like the old ink blots, right? What do you see in this ink blot?
So super quickly, the whole point of doing it today on Friday, this is probably, and I think that this is so well placed and positioned, even though it could hit people the way that you're saying. I think that's respectful. But this is probably the last biggest chance he has to make his statement to say, listen, this is my last stance. I want to be a Patriot.
So wait, you think it's a message to the Patriots?
I think it's a message to the Patriots. I think it's a message to the people who are probably investing enough time to say, Tom, what does this mean? I want to be a Patriot, but if I'm walking out, I still want to play. And then to that point, he could actually use that as a retirement lead-in segue as well. So I think it's pretty brilliantly placed, if you ask me.
I agree with you in terms of the brilliance. I disagree with Nick, not just because I like disagreeing with Nick. That in fact, is fun. That's kind of what we do for a living. But I disagree in terms of the selfishness and overshadowing the Super Bowl. It's not on. He didn't do it on Saturday. He didn't do it on Super Bowl Sunday. Like if he does that the morning of the Super Bowl, you're like, whoa, what does it mean? And I think there's also the possibility there's a little inner conflict there. Like, look, Giselle does not want him to play football. Okay, she does not want him to play football. No wife, let alone one who's as successful and
she was on the record 4 years ago that she thinks he's done
right, and then she said he has a bunch of concussions that he doesn't talk about. Like, she doesn't want him to play. I think there's the possibility of also, like, do I really want to play? Right? Even like Drew Brees is not fully committed to doing this thing. Do I want to stay? Do I want to come back? You know, maybe it's kind of the inner conflict there. I don't know, but I do think it's brilliant because it does allow us to. And this whole idea that we wouldn't be talking about Tom Brady, you and I both host a national radio show. Did you talk about Tom Brady, what he's going to do this week?
Well, yes.
Of course.
Yeah, but
everybody's talking about it, so why can't he kind of plant the seed as to, like, this is where I am?
All right, but here's my real issue, is this is just another example that we judge, instead of actions, actors. Because we are giving Brady, and one could argue he's earned it, but so much leeway and benefit of the doubt on an action that if it was done by someone we don't like, someone that we say is a me guy, would be getting eviscerated, absolutely crushed. If my pal Odell tweeted out anything about speculation about what his next stop would be, he would be killed today for hijacking Super Bowl week. Baker Mayfield is going to be joining us in a couple hours. If Baker did anything to put the spotlight on himself about where am I going to do, we would be killing him. It's the same way that when Brady, and again, I think Brady's the greatest football player ever, but when Brady is screaming at teammates or coaches on the sideline, it's Tom Brady exhibiting great leadership, rallying the troops, and when other guys do it, they're out of control.
Correct.
And that stuff irritates me.
Well, that's because the reality is he has earned it. Okay, that's the difference. Odell Beckham Jr. has not earned the right. He does not have the equity. Baker Mayfield has not earned it. And the idea that you're calling Tom Brady selfish, the only reason I can push back is because
I'm saying this is a selfish act. I'm not calling him selfish.
No, I understand, okay? But here is a guy who we have 20 years of history to tell you that he's not selfish, which would lend you to believe it's not a selfish act. Because he does the right things for the entirety of his career and how he prepares himself for each game, because there aren't the social media come back at Colin Cowherd moments.
Sure.
Okay, because he's acted like a grown-up. We allow him the leeway, and he's allowed to scream at teammates. Otherwise, they would turn on him. The reason he motivates them is because they know he has the equity, and the gentlemen that you pointed out simply do not.
I think they're both accurate depictions or accurate takes on it. But when you're looking at Tom Brady, and when it's all said and done, we will go back into the annals, and we will never remember these moments, right? Let's be clear. We'll never remember these moments. Somebody is very, very well versed in understanding legacy building, and it could be Tom himself, but Tom, his team, they understand that where we're at right now, this is about business. Like, let's just be clear.
Yeah.
This is about business. If it goes the way he wants it and he ends up where he wants to be, that's great. If it doesn't work out that way and he ends up retiring, going to a different team, these are the moments that we'll sit there and say in the history of his career, they were irrelevant. So in the end,
the footnotes on the end of the story.
We can debate this till we turn blue in the face, but he's doing what's best for business.